You make more money now than you did 3 years ago. So why does your bank account look almost exactly the same? It isn't your salary. It isn't bad luck. The reason you feel stuck at 30 is rarely some dramatic disaster. It's 5 small habits. Quiet ones. The kind that never show up as a single painful moment, so you never notice them taking from you. And that is exactly why they work so well. A big loss gets your attention. You feel it. You react to it. But a slow leak just drips, day after day, paycheck after paycheck, until you look up one afternoon and wonder where all of it went. According to the Federal Reserve, about 1 in 3 American adults couldn't cover a surprise $400 expense with cash. Not people in crisis. Regular adults with regular jobs. So if your savings feel thinner than they should, you are not broken. You just have habits hiding in plain sight. Want to finally see them? Here is the first one. You spend your raise before it ever reaches you. Your income goes up, and somehow your life gets exactly that much more expensive. A slightly nicer apartment, a slightly nicer car, the upgraded phone, the bigger plan, the better groceries every single week. Each choice feels reasonable on its own. Together, they quietly swallow every extra dollar you earn. This is called lifestyle creep, and it is the reason someone earning $90,000 can feel just as broke as someone earning $50,000. The raise was real. The progress was not, because your savings rate never moved an inch. Here is the uncomfortable part. If your spending climbs every time your income climbs, you will feel poor at every salary you ever reach. The goal was never to earn more and spend more. The goal is to earn more and keep the difference. Picture 2 people who both got a $500 raise this year. The first one upgrades a few things and feels great for about a month. The second one quietly sends that same $500 into savings and barely notices. A year later, one of them has nothing to show for it, and the other has $6,000 and a habit that compounds for the rest of their life. Same raise, completely different future. What would change if your next raise went straight into your future instead of your lifestyle? Here is the second habit. You pay yourself last. Money comes in. Rent goes out. Then the bills, the food, the card, the subscriptions, the night out, the little treat you told yourself you earned. And whatever manages to survive at the end of the month, that is what you save. Except most months, nothing survives. This is the habit that quietly guarantees you stay stuck, because saving was never going to win a fair fight against everything else reaching for your money. It loses that fight every single time. The fix is almost insultingly simple. You save first. The day your paycheck lands, a set amount moves into savings automatically, before you can touch it, before you can talk yourself out of it. Pay yourself like you are the most important bill you have, because you are. People who automate their saving don't have more willpower than you. They just took the decision out of their own hands. When was the last time your savings grew without you having to think about it? Here is the third one, and it may be the most expensive of all. You carry a balance. You promise yourself you'll clear it next month. You make the minimum payment, the card keeps working, and life moves on. But the average credit card interest rate in America has now climbed above 20%. Sit with that number for a moment. Every dollar you owe is growing, not in your favor, but against you. A $5,000 balance paid only at the minimum can take well over a decade to clear and cost thousands in interest on top. That is money you worked hard for, handed to a bank, in exchange for nothing at all. The cruel part is how responsible it feels. The statement says minimum payment due, you pay it, and it looks like you're handling things. You aren't. It is a leak that mails you an invoice every month. Wiping out high-interest debt isn't just clearing a bill. It is the highest guaranteed return you will ever earn on a dollar. What would it actually feel like to owe no one? Here is the fourth habit, and it is the sneakiest of them all. You bleed money in amounts too small to notice. The streaming service you forgot you were paying for. The app that auto-renewed without a sound. The free trial that quietly became $15 a month, 6 months ago. On their own, none of these feel like real money. That is precisely why they work. $5 here, $12 there. $9.99 you swore you would cancel. Surveys have found that most people underestimate their own monthly subscription spending by more than double. They guess one number, and the real one is far higher. A handful of forgotten charges can quietly cost you hundreds of dollars a year, every year, for things you never even use. This isn't about never enjoying anything again. It is about paying attention. Money left on autopilot almost always drifts away from you. So when did you last read your own bank statement, line by line, all the way down? Here is the fifth and final habit. Your money sits still. Everything you have managed to save is parked in a checking account, doing absolutely nothing. It feels safe. It feels responsible. But while it sits there, inflation is quietly shrinking it year after year until the same dollars buy a little less every time you reach for them. Safe and stuck are not the same thing. Your money is capable of working while you sleep, and right now it is lying on the couch. This is the real difference between people who slowly pull ahead and people who run in place their whole lives. Not income. Not luck. Whether their money has a job. You don't need to be an expert and you don't need a fortune to begin. You only need your money pointed somewhere it can grow, instead of somewhere it just waits. A simple, boring, automatic investment that you never touch will quietly outwork a checking account every year for decades. Nothing flashy, nothing risky, just money that finally has somewhere to go. So be honest. What is your money doing for you right now? Now look at what all 5 of these habits share. Not one of them is dramatic. Not one of them feels like a mistake while you're making it. Spending a raise feels like success. Paying a minimum feels like responsibility. A subscription feels like a small reward. Each one wears a friendly disguise, and that disguise is the whole trick. The thing keeping you broke at 30 was never one terrible decision. It was small, comfortable choices, repeated quietly for years. Each one too minor to worry about. Each one easy to defend in the moment. That is how a leak survives. It hides behind how reasonable it looks. But here is the part nobody tells you. That is wonderful news. Because small repeated choices are the easiest things in the world to change. You don't need a windfall. You don't need to start over. You need to interrupt the pattern in one place today. So pick one, just one. Automate a single transfer the moment this video ends. Cancel one subscription you forgot you had. Move one chunk of idle cash somewhere it can finally grow. Trying to fix all 5 at once is how most people quit by the weekend. You will not undo 5 habits in an afternoon, and you don't have to. You change one. You let it become automatic. Then you come back for the next one. Momentum quietly does the rest, the same way these habits did, except now the drip is finally working for you. You make more money now than you did 3 years ago. The only thing that changes, starting today, is that you finally get to keep it.